Now it's all about us. We are the last generation of caregivers as we know it. That's it. We did not raise our children like we were raised. We told them, get out there, study hard, go make something out of yourself. And boy, did they go far.
Yeah.
They just decided to take off because they could and because we thought that was the right thing to do. And we were. But this is the magic question. Who is going to do this for us? I found out on that day in 1966 that what I really was an advocate for all of us. And I will be doing this until my final breath, is to take care and make sure that the quality of our life and all people will be good forever, for as long as God lets me do this work. We are living in a gerontocracy. These are the kind of people I hang out with. You probably know a few of them. People are living a third longer than they thought they would, and the fear of dying has been replaced with the fear of living too long. This longevity revolution is changing absolutely everything. This is what is going to happen in our lives, in our lifetime. So here's Sarah and her daughter and her son, his daughter, her daughter, and the little squirt. Wow. This is what is going to happen in our lifetime. The gerontologists tell us that the millennials, now this will be the exception to the rule, but there will be plenty of millennials who will reach the age of 150.
Wow. No.
So here we are for Sarah. Now Sarah had a steady diet of meat and potatoes and probably didn't exercise a day in her life, 117. And we have more and more people very easily living to the 100, to at least 100, 120 even. Millennials, 150. So when you write a book, all of you know this. When you write a book, you have to get your figures straight. You have to get your facts straight. You have to talk to a lot of experts. And I did that. I talked to doctors and scientists and lawyers and financial planners and everybody that I needed to talk to. But the people that I really consider my experts are the old people themselves. And I spent more time with them than anybody else. People who were 30 years older than me. And I kept asking the same question. What are you dealing with right now? What do I need to know? And then put them in order of importance. So tell me, what's your number one greatest problem? What do you suppose they told me their number one greatest problem is? Yell it out.
Loneliness?
Loneliness, very good, not the number one. What's the number one problem they're having?
Fear.
Say them out loud.
Fear.
Fear, good, no, that's not.
Money.
Money, you got it. Money. Now, here's the difference. They're living 30 years longer than they thought they would. No one in this room can say that. We know we're going to have to finance 30 more years. So we're not going to be caught off guard like they are. But most of the people who are 30 years older than me right now, so out of money. Next. And in the book, there's a lot of information about money. Then the need to be needed by somebody for something was the second one. That edges on loneliness, that edges on fear, that edges on a lifestyle that is no longer there. The need to be needed by somebody for something is one of the greatest losses. Over and over again, I heard him say this. Now, here's what I did in my own elder care situation. We know that loneliness and feelings of isolation are unhealthy, right? We know this. We've learned a lot about that. My mom lived with us, only she lived in an apartment in the same building. She kept her independence since the day she died, until the day she died. But what I did was I put her to work. Over and over again, I would say, Mom, I need this. Mom, I need that. Please do this for me. Please do that for me. And the more I gave her to work, the more she felt alive and needed and loved. This is like the secret sauce of caregiving. It will change everything. So if you'll just advance a little more. So this is my aunt and uncle. They live on the West Coast and on the East Coast. I did the same thing. And what I would ask them to do is look at the TV, do some research for me, or get on the internet and do research for me. But the thing is they felt needed. And all three of these people I had an incredible relationship with because I kept them in the role of my mom and my aunt and my uncle, and they never forgot it. This is magic. No matter how bad, if she had an ailment, she didn't feel well, didn't matter. She would hop to and make me dinner or shred papers or do whatever I needed. The secret sauce to family caregiving is keep them in the role of as our parents, and the rest is history. And there's one more piece to this puzzle. If my house caught on fire, I know what I would grab. A simple pair of scissors. I'll never forget the day that my mom took me in her bedroom. She opened up the side drawer by the bed and she said, "Here." I knew immediately where those scissors came from. They were Nana's. And Nana used to darn socks with those scissors. Then my mom made my wedding dress with those scissors. And someday, those scissors will go to my daughter. If my house caught on fire, this would be the most valuable thing I would take from the house. And so here is my final message to you. Our stuff is just stuff until you give it away. And you have a story attached to it. And you hand it to someone right now while you can speak and talk and tell the story, and you say, "Here." And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how we leave a legacy. Our Italian heritage lives on through simple things. You might have a brooch, you might have a tie, you might have a belt, and you might have a pair of scissors. But imagine at Christmas time, when it's time to give a gift, that you give this gift to someone in your family. That message will carry on for as long as they live. And they'll continue to do that for someone else. Nobody ever says this. I have been on the deathbed of many people. Nobody ever said this. I would like to tell you something that's interesting that's happened that I had no idea was going to happen. My book has started a movement. And it won't come as a surprise to anybody in this room because we're Italian. But the movement is called Let's Eat Together. And people are starting to get, there's a section in the book that talks about the importance of eating together and how we need to bring this back. But we assume that's how everybody does life, but in essence, they don't know how to do this. We know how to do this the best of anyone in the world. And so now I'm hearing from people all over the world who are telling me that they're taking some of my advice that I write about and sharing meals, whether they're on a park bench. A woman and a daughter that I heard about in Canada, they decided to have, they lived in an apartment building. It was a mom and a single mom and her teenage daughter. They had dinner in the hallway of their apartment. And what happened was, as people came out, they'd say, come on, sit down, have dinner with us. And they did it like that. And so I ask you this final question. Is there something that you can do to help us carry out any kind of tradition, especially the incredible Italian heritage that we all love and share? Thank you.